This is Plate Glass Armor, and welcome to episode 10 of the Mars Exploration Team Tournament between T3hJimmer's Matt Damon and Pendaelose team of Adolphus and Brennan, which are the tanks with lasers and mine lobbers. Let's begin. So far, the only damage being done was by Adolphus, but it looks like the lasers have finally got to the high ground they wanted, so they're finally firing back at Matt Damon. Oh, let's follow in this missile here. I believe it's remote guided, so those distraction flares won't accomplish much. Big hit to the Brennan there, dropping it down by 15% health. I don't know whether it's immobilized it. Yep, it looks like it's taken out the AI with a good shot to the bottom there. So it is now 2 copies of the Adolphus, which is the laser tank, versus the Matt Damon. And here's another one of those dangerous missiles. I think this one landed a little bit less successfully than the previous one, because it just hit the corner there, and the Adolphus has enough repair that it's going to be fine after that hit. Now, interestingly, you can see the difference in strategy here as the Adolphus holds fire more often as it searches for high ground, while the Matt Damon just keeps firing whenever, and sometimes that means it smacks into a cliff. The Matt Damon's repairs so far are keeping up with the damage being dealt by the tanks, though. And with a skip and a miss, it looks like that missile does not quite have the range. Oh, it did manage a hit on the rear, and that was what killed the first tank. So that might have successfully disabled. Nope. It did not destroy its AI, and it did not destroy its repair bots, so that tank is still alright. And with another skip, the advantage of being on the ground is becoming evident, which is you are much less likely to be hit by ground-hugging missiles. You can see the Adolphus holding fire and building up charge here as it decides that it does not have a clean shot at the Matt Damon. That being said, I don't know why it's immobilized right now. Ooh, that one might have done it. A smash to the side there. Looks like it did not make it through the heavy armor. The Adolphus isn't firing back, though. Oh, it finally decided to move. I don't know what was holding it up, but it has 45 seconds to try to deal some damage to the Matt Damon. It's now unloading its charged laser, but it looks like it's not dealing damage fast enough. Unless it gets a very lucky hit, it looks like T3hJimmer is going to win this first round. Two, one, and time, right as another missile is just about to hit. So the first round goes to the technically pristine Matt Damon by T3hJimmer, since its repairs managed to keep up with the damage it was taking. Round two, begin. Now, the Brennan looks like it's not going to be contributing much to this fight, because although lobbed mines have a larger range than usual on Mars, the Matt Damon is quite fast and is staying at range. So I think it's just beyond the engagement range of the Brennan, which looks like it was once again taken out early. I do believe that the Matt Damon is prioritizing based on firepower in addition to its other factors. So that guided missile is consistently going after the Brennan first. Good hit to the side there, but it looks like it did not make it through the heavy armor. Oh, it might have snuck under the heavy armor. That explosion did manage to take out the important components inside the heavy armor core of the Adolphus there. So once again, it is one-on-one, which is not a situation that favors the remaining Adolphus. T3hJimmer only really needs one good hit from those missiles to take out the tanks. So what he's really hoping for is a nice long stretch of flat ground followed by the Adolphus standing on a hill, because that way the missile won't skip over it, as has happened several times when the Adolphus is in a valley. Like right now, it's the perfect opportunity. It looks like the Adolphus is still functioning, though, so it will repair its damage without difficulty. This missile might have just enough juice to get back to hitting the Adolphus. Yep. Once again, smashing into the side there, though, where it's relatively heavily armored. And another missile. That one looks more damaging. Managed to shear off most of the armor on the side. Once again, the tank survived it. Uh-oh. Without its thrusters to keep it balanced, the Adolphus flipped over and smashed off its focusing optics from its laser. And because subconstructs repair after the main construct, it might not be able to fire again for the rest of this match. One second left, and once again, Matt Damon is pristine at the end of the match. Let's start the final round. Oh, interesting. The missile changed targets at the last moment. It was originally going for one of the Adolphus, and because of its change in priorities, it just barely has enough power to make it in the vicinity of the Brennan, but its indecisiveness meant that it did not get a good connection there. That one's done, though. And if it's anything like the first two matches, yep, it looks like it's cored out the interior, with the damage sneaking on past the heavily armored sides. Three and a half minutes left, and the Adolphus are really hoping for a lucky break here to be able to win at least one match. I don't know where this missile is going. Possibly it just changed targets at the last second. It looks like with their terrain scanning Lua program, the Adolphus can more consistently land hits with their lasers, but the lasers are simply not damaging enough and not consistent enough to bring the Matt Damon down below max health with its repair rate. And it looks like the Matt Damon has enough materials that even with continuous repairs, it's not going to run into an issue with running out of materials. Let's go take a look from the Matt Damon's perspective. It's flying here at the edge of the world, which, as we've seen from several of the other entries, can be hazardous depending on what your AI behavior is. But it looks like it's coming back into the map. So it looks like that laser weapon is primarily useful against other flying targets because it has difficulties with clipping the tops of hills when it fires against ground targets at the Matt Damon's preferred range of probably about 300 meters here. Oh, and it looks like one of the Adolphus took a hit from a missile, as it's down at 77% health. And in fact, that smashed off the turret of the Adolphus, which means it will not be firing for the rest of this match. 15 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations to T3hJimmer on 3 pristine victories.